Ever wondered how some wrestlers managed to ruin their careers before they even became stars? How do you get handed the world, all the tools, all the talent, and still find a way to flush it all down the drain? Stay tuned to find out. Today, we're diving into the stories of 8 wrestlers who had it all but lost it before they could shine. These are the guys who could have been champions. They could have headlined WrestleMania, but instead, they made some bad choices, had some bad luck, and became cautionary tales. So buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through the graveyard of wasted potential. Let's start with Marcus Alexander Bagwell, better known to wrestling fans as Buff Bagwell. This guy was the total package. He had the look, the charisma, the moves. He was a natural in the ring, a 7-time WCW World Tag Team Champion. Fans loved him. He was on top of the world. But then 2001 rolled around and WCW, the company where Bagwell had made his name, was purchased by its rival, WWE. And that's when things started to go south for Buff. WWE gave him a tryout match on Raw against Booker T. This was Bagwell's big chance to prove he could hang with the best in the business. But instead he choked. The match was a disaster. Bagwell looked lost, out of his element. The crowd could sense his nerves, and the energy just drained out of the arena. It was clear that this wasn't the same Buff Bagwell that had dominated in WCW. Word on the street was that Bagwell's mama called up WWE management to complain about her baby boy's travel arrangements. And then, there were whispers about Bagwell exaggerating his injuries to avoid wrestling. The WWE decided to cut ties with Bagwell. This should have been a wake-up call for Bagwell, a chance to regroup and refocus. But instead, it was the beginning of the end. Buff Bagwell, the guy who had it all, became a cautionary tale about what happens when talent meets poor attitude, and even worse decision-making. Scott Hall, the Outsiders, the NWO, these names are synonymous with one of the most electrifying periods in professional wrestling history, the Monday Night Wars. Hall, with his slicked-back hair, toothpick dangling from his lips, and swagger that could intimidate a grizzly bear, was coolness personified. He oozed charisma. When he stepped into the ring, you couldn't take your eyes off him. Hall's career began in the AWA, and he quickly rose through the ranks, capturing championships and wowing audiences with his unique blend of technical skill and brawling intensity. He moved to WCW, where he teamed up with Kevin Nash to form the Outsiders, 2 mercenaries who shook the wrestling world to its core. Together, they formed the NWO, a rebellious faction that sparked a ratings war with WWE and changed the landscape of professional wrestling forever. Hall was a major part of that success. But behind the facade of the cool, confident bad guy, a storm was brewing. Hall was battling his own demons. Alcohol and drug abuse took hold, casting a dark shadow over his life and his career. Despite numerous attempts at rehabilitation, the pull of addiction proved too strong. Hall's personal struggles overshadowed his incredible talent. Scott Hall's story is a tragic one, a reminder that even those who appear to have it all can be fighting hidden battles. Luger, the total package. This guy was chiseled out of granite. He had the physique of a Greek god, the charisma of a Hollywood star, and the raw power to back it all up. Luger was destined for greatness. He was a 2-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, a United States Champion, and a Royal Rumble winner. He was on top of the world. But his journey took a turn that led him down a path of controversy, and ultimately, derailed his career. Luger's downfall began with the infamous Lex Express storyline. UCW positioned Luger as the all-American hero, a symbol of national pride. They even had him parading around the country on a bus, the Lex Express, drumming up support for a showdown with the then WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Yokozuna. But there was one problem. Luger wasn't actually American, he was Canadian. And while his wrestling persona was all about American pride, his real-life status as a Canadian citizen created a disconnect that fans found hard to ignore. To make matters worse, Luger's in-ring skills didn't quite live up to the hype. The Lex Express storyline, which had started with so much promise, fizzled out, leaving Luger's career in limbo. In 2003, Luger was involved in a domestic dispute with his then-girlfriend, Miss Elizabeth. The police were called and Luger was arrested for battery. Luger's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of hype and the importance of authenticity. Marty Jannetty, the Other Rocker. Marty Jannetty, one half of the legendary tag team, the Rockers, was a wrestler who seemed to have it all. Alongside Shawn Michaels, Jannetty electrified audiences in the late 80s. But while Michaels became a wrestling icon, Jannetty's career nosedived. A controversial moment saw Jannetty thrown through a barbershop window. The Rockers split, and Jannetty's career spiraled. Rumors of substance abuse and erratic behavior followed. Jannetty's story is a reminder that talent alone isn't enough. Ahmed Johnson, the Pearl-harboring powerhouse. Ahmed Johnson was a force of nature. His finisher, the Pearl River Plunge, was a thing of brutal beauty. He captivated audiences with his raw power and intensity, but his career was short-lived, marred by injuries and missed opportunities. He became the first African-American Intercontinental Champion. Ahmed Johnson had all the tools to become a legend, but his career serves as a reminder that even the most physically gifted athletes can't succeed without the right attitude. Paul Roma, from Four Horsemen to Forgotten Man. Paul Roma, once touted as a future star, saw his career take a nosedive after a controversial career move. Roma, with his chiseled physique and aggressive in-ring style, seemed destined for greatness. He rose to prominence as a member of the Four Horsemen, one of the most dominant factions in wrestling history. But it was his association with this legendary group that ultimately proved to be his undoing. Roma joined the Four Horsemen in 1993, replacing the departing Barry Windham. It was a dream come true for the young wrestler, an opportunity to rub shoulders with legends like Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. But Roma's inclusion in the group was met with skepticism from fans and critics alike. Many felt he wasn't ready for such a prestigious position, that he didn't possess the same level of charisma or in-ring prowess as his predecessors. Roma's time with the Four Horsemen was short-lived and largely forgettable. He struggled to connect with the audience, his performances often overshadowed by his more experienced stablemates. After less than a year, Roma was kicked out of the Four Horsemen, his departure as unceremonious as his arrival. Sean O'Haire, the devil you didn't know. Sean O'Haire. Remember that name? You should. This guy had it all, the look, the charisma, and an intensity that could send chills down your spine. He was a natural heel, a master of the dark arts of professional wrestling, but somewhere along the way, his career took a wrong turn, leaving him lost in the shuffle and ultimately forgotten. O'Haire's career began in WCW, where he quickly rose through the ranks, capturing tag team gold and showcasing his unique blend of power and agility. He possessed an aura of danger, a sense that he was capable of anything in the ring. He was a star in the making. When WCW folded in 2001, O'Haire was one of the few wrestlers who successfully transitioned to WWE. He debuted with a new, even more sinister gimmick, embracing the dark side and challenging viewers to pray for a new world order. His promos were captivating, his presence undeniable. But then, something changed. O'Haire's push stalled. Sean O'Haire's story is a reminder that even the most talented individuals need the right opportunities and the right support system to succeed. Juventud Guerrera, the juice runs dry. Juventud Guerrera, the masked marvel from Mexico, was a wrestler who seemed to defy gravity. He was a high-flyer extraordinaire, a master of aerial maneuvers who could launch himself off the top rope with the grace of a trapeze artist. He was a three-time WCW Cruiserweight champion, a testament to his incredible talent and exciting in-ring style. But Guerrera's career, much like his high-flying moves, was a roller coaster ride of highs and lows, ultimately ending in a series of unfortunate events that left him a shell of his former self. Guerrera's career began in Mexico, where he honed his craft in the lucha libre style, emphasizing high-flying maneuvers and intricate technical wrestling. He made his way to WCW in the late 1990s, quickly becoming a fan favorite with his daredevil antics and infectious charisma. However, Guerrera's career was plagued by personal demons. Rumors of substance abuse and erratic behavior followed him, casting a shadow over his undeniable talent. He had several stints in WWE, but each time his personal issues prevented him from reaching his full potential. Juventud Guerrera's story is a reminder that talent alone isn't enough to succeed in the wrestling business. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting personal issues derail a promising career. So there you have it. 8 wrestlers who had the world in their hands and let it slip through their fingers. These stories remind us that even the brightest stars can fall. These were talented individuals who, for one reason or another, couldn't stay on track. They serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that the wrestling business is as unforgiving as it is rewarding. These stories are about more than just wrestling. They're about the choices we make, the demons we battle, and the importance of seizing the moment. Stay tuned for more wrestling insights and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Which wrestler's story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below.